Hi, my name is Norby of FlipGeeks.com. I'm the managing editor. With me are two awesome guys, and one is Mr. Carljoe.
Hello. Hi, I'm Carl Javier. I am a Lakers fan. And I grew up in the city during the time of the show that we're talking about. And I had no idea that it was this wild.
During the 60s or
The
70s?
Whoa, man. Whoa. 80s naman ako. 80s. Grabe ka.
Okay, sorry.
Ari, ginawa mo akong Jerry West era, hindi Magic era.
Sorry. Basta-basa yun ng NBA
Parang
trophy.
ginawa mong Minneapolis pa sila. Grabe ka.
and also with me is Mr. Ryan Louis Villanueva.
Yes, hi, this is Rai again. I'm making a comeback again, not to be confused with Norby's brother. And also for this episode, I also have a basketball podcast called Did Not Play, also on Spotify. Shameless plug. So that's why I'm making a comeback for this episode, since it's basketball stuff.
Yeah, so as you can listen, we're going to talk about winning time, the rise of the Lakers, the dynasty, and it's been playing on HBO Max, or over there it's HBO Go, probably. Yes.
Yes.
Lakers winning time, the rise of the Lakers dynasty. Syempre, we're talking about the history on when the Lakers dynasty started. So
Yeah.
tell me what is the Lakers dynasty?
Oh, really? We want to go there? Well, no, so I think you can cut up the Lakers into a number of eras. And so, like I mentioned, the Minneapolis Lakers, George Mikan, and that's like the first set. And then the next is the Jerry West, Elgin Baylor set. But they were not a dynasty because they kept losing to the Celtics.
Oh my God.
Because it was the Celtics dynasty at the time. And so where we are now in I guess in NBA history is that, and Rai, you can always correct me if I'm wrong, but where
Sure.
we are now is like, Lakers and Celtics, they're not big contenders these, the last few seasons. They're not doing great, but
I mean,
they
Lakers, yes, but the Celtics are making a resurgence.
Yeah, oh, that's true. The Celtics have done a good job of rebuilding. But I mean, when you look at the number of the teams that have the most championships, people look to the Lakers and the Celtics, and it's across dynasty. The reason why they have dynasties is across time. Unlike say the Bulls, there may Bulls era. Nung
Yeah,
nandun
that's
si
just an
Jordan.
era, diba?
Oh,
Not a
era
dynasty.
siya eh. Pero hindi dynasty kasi hindi nagkaroon ng balik. So, we actually meet the Lakers here where there is no dynasty yet. And it's Boston only that has the dynasty. And yung Lakers yung nangangarap. And that's why I find that time period really exciting.
Yeah, and just to appease the Bulls fans, we're not saying that it was not a dynasty just because the 90s was the Bulls era, like when Jordan came into the league, unlike the Lakers and the Celtics, which transpired from the 60s up until the 80s. So
Yeah.
mas mahaba lang yung time frame, pero we're not discrediting the championship run of the Bulls. So yun lang.
Oo. Kasi
Yeah.
pag dynasty, napapasa eh. Diba? Like
yes,
there's
true.
a there's a time that passes and then mapupunta sa iba. So the reason why medyo qualified naman ang Celts at ang Lakers is they occupy different time periods unlike other teams that have
Teams.
had championships but they haven't come back. Kasi kunwari, Pistons nakapag back-to-back yan in two different
Yes,
eras eh. Diba?
True. 2000s.
Yeah.
And they beat the Lakers.
Yeah, and they also beat the Lakers in the late 80s, diba? So, but I think the excitement here, and one of the reasons why winning time is interesting, is it doesn't shy away from what the NBA used to be.
Yeah.
Yung parang systemically racist ang NBA in the same way that the NFL continues to be today. And they hadn't figured out like how to market it to a broader audience because of that systemic racism that was there. And parang nagulat talaga ako sa episode 1, parang sige, pag-usapan natin to. Ang tapang nung tira niya dun sa start, like what was that first 15 minutes na they were talking about sort of the
Yeah.
racism and why people weren't watching. Grabe yun.
Yeah.
Sexism din.
That's right.
Yeah. So that was really powerful. And it is, what I love about it is that by choosing this era, it's so different from what we understand the NBA to be now. Kasi NBA is the glamour, di ba? Sila yung
Mm.
glamour league in the sports. Maybe
Yeah, it's one
yeah.
of the biggest sports right nowadays, and
Yeah.
we didn't know at that time na ganun kaliit pala ang NBA that
Parang
time.
minor lang sila. Di ba? Parang mas malaki pa nga yung baseball.
Oh,
Mas
yeah.
gusto pa nga yung golf
Mm.
and tennis, I think.
Yeah. It tells us that what you understand as the NBA now actually only exists because of what we see here. And parang dagdag basketball stuff dyan. Kita mo yung roots of like Steph Curry, di ba? Parang Golden State run and gun. What it takes to transform a league is that excitement. And I think this isn't a basketball one, right? This is a nerds pod, but usually the basketball discussions, they get bogged down by ito yung rule changes, tapos si ganyan wouldn't survive in this era, but in this era, okay siya ganyan. Like, I don't want to have I like the conversations of look at what was so interesting in this time period and how it was so hard to change the way things played.
Yeah.
Diba? Parang the greatest player as portrayed in this show is at the time was Kareem. Diba? Parang
Yeah. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Diba? He couldn't miss with that shot, and yet hindi siya yung dominant player. So, diba? Yeah.
And he was like the standard or the prototype of what the league is about. Diba? Discuss like in the latter episodes, like 4 and 5, na how he has become a stature na parang players look up to him. Nobody opposes him. Diba? Parang he's the one, parang siya yung deciding factor as to how the league would change.
Yes. Tapos siya pa yung nakakainis kasi, di ba yung, ano yung stat niya? Parang 2010. 30-10.
30-10.
Di ba? Parang siyang, parang,
rebounds.
I'll give you your numbers. Di ba? That's also what we hate about modern players na they're chasing their stat as opposed to parang chasing the win. Di ba? So, there's so much here na seeded about modern NBA fandom.
Yung executive producer nito is Adam McKay. If you guys know about him, he did Step Brothers, if I remember.
Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. So
Anchorman,
Walk Hard. Oh, that one.
Love John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
And of course, most recently Oscar nominated Don't Look Up.
I have yet to see that, pero yun.
And what I actually wanted was this to fall in his The Big Short wheelhouse. Diba? Yung him being able to explain all of these concepts like offense, motion offense, being able to explain these things to a layman's audience, which I'm not exactly sure kasi I have to, obviously I'm so biased na I like this, I like the Lakers, but I don't know. Did you guys think that this communicates to everyone?
Yes, because for me, my basketball consciousness started during the 90s. So I only know bits and pieces during this era. Parang, alam mo yun, as a basketball fan, you tend to learn kung ano nangyari noon about the rivalry between Magic and Bird. So parang, I treat this as a docudrama na parang, it's entertaining, pero at the same time, hindi ka naman parang, you still get to understand the technical stuff. When it comes to basketball, the way they implement how they plan to change the game, they implement the plays, coaching. Parang galing nga eh. Parang, alam mo yun, parang natututo ka at the same time. Pero it appeals to more basketball-oriented fans. Parang kung outside looking in ka, parang medyo mahirap. You'll focus more on the drama. Pero as a basketball fan, you'll geek out na parang, ang deep pala nung, it's not just purely basketball. There's a rich history behind it.
Yeah, yung parang Narcos, di ba? Parang yung Narcos approach na, let's look at these characters, but it's not just Escobar, it's the dudes na, nagbebenta on the streets, but it's, I like the back office stories.
Same.
Yung, the woman who was in charge of, like, trying to make the forum profitable.
Yeah.
Right? That's so cool. What a story.
I even told Norby na I really have a huge crush on Genie Bus here. Kaya favorite parang segment ko yun. So, doon bias ako. Tapos I search Genie Bus. Maganda pala siya talaga. So, so parang sabi ko, galing nung casting talagang, di ba si Magic? I mean,
let's jump on that, man. Kasi ako,
yeah.
First time yung opening sequence, and obviously like we all know what Magic Johnson looks like, right?
Yep.
Medyo, you know his face, and then dun sa
Yung
opening
smile,
in the opening sequence with where he's in the clinic and he's clean shaven, medyo malayo for me eh. But then as the thing went on, parang I kind of forgot, and I was just like, yeah, this guy's Magic. Like kuha niya eh. Ganda
Even
ng
yung
casting.
pagka-poknot ni Karim, 'di ba, nakuha nila.
Yeah.
I think
I was like,
yeah.
how do they cast people so tall? Na ganun yung itsura and then they're the right
Mm.
height.
I like you see Quincy Asaya, which is the guy who plays Magic. Because
Yeah.
if by every episode there would be a podcast like a special feature by Rick Fox, and whenever the actor's there, when he talks like you know he talks like the Magic character in the show. Parang normal sa kanya magsalita na ganun. As in, like, he really talks like Magic in real life,
Galing.
talaga.
Although
Like,
my favorite,
demeanor niya. Yeah, go
my
ahead.
favorite, pare, John C. Reilly. Insane.
Yeah.
That's right.
Insane.
Method acting, no? Grabe.
Mas grabe
Insane.
sa akin, si Jason Clark, which is
Oh wow,
ano,
yeah.
sino yun? Forgot.
He's
Jerry
the
West. Jerry
icon.
West.
He's the
He's
icon,
Jerry
man.
West.
Jerry West.
In real life, he's Australian. Oh my god.
He's so like they're all so good, but yung nga, before you arrived, right, we were talking about how all of these characters are obsessed with winning, and it makes them a little
Mhm.
messed up, and you don't know which one comes first. Yung you're messed up, so you become obsessed with winning, or
Obsessive
you
na, no?
are obsessed with winning, and that makes you messed up.
I think the latter.
Because
Just
my
I mean,
favorite,
just what happened to Jerry West, 'di ba?
yeah.
Nakita mo siya he's been the victim of trying to be the best player out there. Pero wala, talo talaga siya from the Celtics. And then all he won was just like an MVP trophy.
Kaya
And
nga parang,
yeah.
yeah, go.
And he became the
I was
logo
just,
of the NBA. Yung pala.
yeah, relating to that, I was just about to say na there's a lot more to the logo pala. Parang
Mm.
all the while, I just recognize him as the logo or the
Mm-hmm.
general manager for the Clippers. Now, wala akong
Mm-hmm.
alam na backstory about him. So yun yung parang isa ring I mean, a strength to this series.
I agree. I sometimes find myself wondering how much of this is fictional
That's right.
and how much of it is real.
Uh-huh.
'Di ba? Lalo na, the wildness, but it's like, yeah, documented yung pagiging wild nila nung 80s eh.
Sorry.
Tambay si Dr. Bus ng Playboy Mansion, 'di ba?
Hindi ko alam yun.
I believe it. But
Sabi ng older brother ko, which is Ryan. Sorry, Ryan. Sabi niya, like, nagulat siya sa character ni Jerry West kasi si Jerry West all over the NBA is well-respected na guy. So,
Yeah.
behave siya. Pero nung nakita niya yung Showtime na show, seeing Jerry West na nagmumura,
Yeah.
naging galit palagi, it's like, holy shit. It's like very entertaining sa kanya. That's why, like, this show is it's very attractive for.
yeah, no, he's like the Escobar, 'di ba? Or parang sa Mad Men. Siya yung
Agree.
siya yung focal point dito na parang, wow, that dude. Because you think it's magic, but it's really, at least for the first few episodes, it's really
Episodes.
It's Jerry Buss.
Yeah. Yeah.
And John C. Reilly parang out of nowhere, man, like carrying this whole thing. That opening sequence where he opens at the Playboy Mansion and then he starts talking about what the state of the NBA is. Sobrang compelling. You can't look away. Ang galing.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of dialogues, I like how they break the fourth wall. Parang I like it how they talk to the audience. Na parang what other series does that now? Parang, 'di ba, sinimulan ni Deadpool, tapos now we're seeing it in the Winning Time. So, ang cool na parang mas nagiging relatable siya to fans.
That's an Adam McKay thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Okay.
it's a big short. Like, there's this part there. It's like Margot Robbie's like, I'll explain it because you would rather learn it from Margot Robbie than from these dorky characters. Yeah, so it's part of the toolkit of trying to explain these big concepts, but making it entertaining. Kasi nga, diba? If you're a basketball nut, you'll sit down and you'll read it. And if you're not, diba, people
Yeah.
need to find a way for it to be explained to them. Kasi ang daming complex stuff na nangyari dito that are doing well. Like, di ko alam kung umabot na yung sa shoe deal.
Hindi
Ay,
pa,
wala
hindi
pa, wala pa.
hindi pa.
Oo.
Ano
So,
lang,
Just to inform
economics
you
of
guys,
basketball.
just to
yeah,
inform
okay.
everyone, Carljoe already seen episodes 1 to 8. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he's asking.
Yeah,
Go
I
on.
got advanced copies. They were so advanced that like you could still see this green screen.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't
Ooh,
like
okay.
properly color graded and stuff. And it's like so that I can know the
Mhm,
story a little more for the review that I wrote. But yeah, like there's this
mhm,
sequence where Magic shows up at a parang conference, parang sa hotel ganyan. Tapos nandun yung shoemakers. And then they
Uh-huh.
make the offers. And so that's like where these brands are from. And this of course we know the history. We know which brand he goes with and which brands he rejects. But syempre in that
mhm,
moment, like when you imagine, oh, who the fuck is Nike, right? But right, so may mga scene na ganon, and that transfers through all of this na, yeah, this is what it was like to build the team. I like the bidding war between like how much he should get, right,
Uh-huh.
as a
It's the
rookie
first
versus
episode.
like, oh, 'di ba? Tapos oh, magkano ba
mhm.
si Larry Bird, 'di ba? Parang mga
Yeah,
ganon.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
think
also
Kareem.
the
how
way
much was
they
that?
discussed yung status ng team. The
Mm.
way Jerry Buss asked his mother to do the books, 'di ba? Parang isipin mo boring yung economics eh, pero mapapaisip ka parang how did they survive knowing na bankrupt na pala yung Lakers at that time, 'di ba?
Oh, yung utang sila na utang. Sobrang galing
Oo.
nun. Sobrang galing na I'll get this much cash and this much ganyan, and then when he like bluffs his way through, John C. Riley, man,
Oh,
rocking
another
it.
thing, I like yung partner ni John C. Reilly, yung fat guy na nasa
Oh
labas.
yeah, the
It's
accountant.
like, yeah, and whenever he
Ah, yeah.
talks, and when he talks to the fourth wall, it's like, no, we don't have any money. Talaga.
Kaya
It's like
nga.
it was so funny.
Acting is so good.
The
The
cast is
pieces of
really
the
good.
culture, the pieces of culture are so good. You really feel like it's a specific time period.
Na-mention mo din, Carl, kanina yung color grading. That's what I really like about this series. Dama mo
Mm.
talaga na parang was shown in the 70s or 80s, di ba?
Yeah,
You know
they.
what they did? I think I saw behind the scenes where sabi daw they used old cameras. Yung mga
Mm.
lumang cameras tapos
Yun nga
ginawa
din iniisip ko eh.
yung ginamit nila.
Old film.
Yeah, yun yung ginamit nila on some shots para ma-feel mo na on that time.
Mahal 'yon.
Ang lakas maka-Betamax eh, no?
Oo. Film na film. Grainy film pa eh.
So the thing is we talked so much on the positives. Are there any negatives? Sorry.
So I think that I don't know, like call me a prude or something, pero it veers in the Game of Thrones every episode kailangan may hubaran sex scene
Si
na malupit ganon. So parang it's totally unnecessary and parang we get it, but okay. So to me, when the sex scenes start to parang yung let me reframe it. It felt like the sex scenes were trying to check a box, and that box was
uh,
make sure we have one every episode, and it didn't feel like it was essential or organic to the story. Parang alam naman natin na fuckboy si Magic Johnson eh. 'Di ba? So
kaya nga
parang
siya nagka ano, di ba?
yeah, exactly. 'Di ba? And then parang medyo kasama naman yan doon sa legend ng whole thing is, so like we already know, but why do we need to have it in every episode just to show that when one like it's a few seconds of narrative, you could just throw it away and make the thing cleaner, or you could make it more meaningful, but yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's just the style of Adam McKay. If if you've seen Walk Hard, like you
No,
would see
but it's not funny eh. So Walk Hard, it's
yeah
funny. Here,
yeah
it's like it feels like an HBO requirement.
oh but for me when I see like because usually yeah it's the HBO requirement yeah like they have other shows like Minx where they showed frontal ng guys. Actually, yun yung kulang nga dito sa show dito. It's like we keep saying girls na
You're gonna
yeah
get what you want.
we could yeah.
Oh my
Don't worry.
god.
I'm trying to
I was just about to say that
I was waiting
like
for a
the
black
go.
yeah I was waiting for a frontal for guys like parang unequal sa
Hintay ka
mga
lang,
girls to.
bro. Hintay ka lang. Yung
Kanina ba kay Kareem?
be be careful
Who
what
was
you wish
Kareem's
for.
best friend? Yung sinabi nila na parang kinat off niya yung head or something.
Si
Di
Spencer
ba
Haywood.
yeah,
Oh my
he
god.
did the reveal on episode 5. They
Nandun
could
na
have
pala yan.
done a frontal, di ba?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Kung ginawa nila frontal yan. Also, spoiler guys. nakita natin si Kobe Bryant.
Yeah,
Oo nga,
Kobe's
oo nga.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I love it. I
as a
love the
1-year-old.
idea, like, the celebrities in the front row, and I think lumabas na siguro si Jack Nicholson at some point.
Yung hindi nakita ko, dapat binanggit. Wala akong narinig na like, so here's Jack Nicholson. Wala akong narinig. Pero parang may isang shot na nakita mo siya.
Richard
No?
Pryor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's good that it doesn't lean too much into that.
Na parang
Ako,
in-acknowledge lang nila, di ba?
yeah, that na parang those are people who are there, but you don't have to make a big scene out of it. I agree with you, right? I actually like the fourth wall stuff and the sort of quality of it, but I've seen reviews that are critical of that. But it's an Adam McKay thing. Parang either you like what he does or you don't. And this is a very like Adam McKay driven work. You can sense like he has a fair amount of creative control over this project. So it's within my taste and I enjoy it, but I know that if you don't like Adam McKay's work, you will probably not like it.
Pero for me, the way it worked, I mean, the reason why it works for me, kasi parang hindi siya forced eh. Parang interjected siya in a way na yun yung para mag-initiate ng comedy for the scene.
No, I agree. It's pretty, and for me, it works. It's pretty funny.
Yep.
Ano pa bang hindi ko masyadong type dito? Kayo ba?
Guys, sa akin, in gameplay, parang repetitive na nakita ko palagi yung alley-oop.
I think that's
from
standard.
Magic to Kareem. Yun
I
lang.
think that's the standard for
that's the play, bro.
basketball. Basketball movies. Mga Coach Carter, mga ganun. Ganun din yung makikita mo sa ibang basketball films. Kasi we couldn't say, parang hirap humanap ng double na marunong mag-basketball. I think kaya ganun yung repetitive shots. Meron pa nga yung skyhook ni Kareem, parang edited. Like yung buzzer beater niya in episode 3 or episode 4.
I feel
parang
so
nakaslant masyado.
So this can go the way of like do you guys watch Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
Diba sa Ted Lasso actually almost all the people that they cast actually play. And like si Danny Rojas dun, diba? He's an actual pro. So
good, dude.
Kita mo, madalas siya yung pinapagalaw kasi siya yung marunong talaga eh. For this one, I don't know, because I actually would say that you should go to training camp for this, right? Like
it would have done, they could have done better, no? Tama, agree.
Diba? Kasi kung yung mga ibang tao parang 2 weeks magsusundalo stuff, diba? Or ganon, or people, I mean, obviously like the crazy level is Chadwick Boseman, right? Like sa Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and he learns to play trumpet just for the role. Like that's insane. But right, and then he learned to dance for the James Brown role that he did. That's the next level stuff. But ito yung to prep. But that said, I mean, it's hard enough to cast somebody who looks like them. And sort of when they stand next to each other, I think the Magic and Kareem standing next to each other in here is very close to the iconography of the real Magic and Kareem standing next to each other in height. So yung gameplay nila, that's something that could be better, but there's actually not that much on court action. I wish there were. I wish that some more of the drama happened on the court, especially drama against other teams. There's a scene with Michael Chiklis as Red Auerbach na he's kind of just an asshole all the time. And di ba?
Yossi lang.
Di ba? Parang sobrang, this guy. Like, he's so good as Red Auerbach, and you can see why natitrigger si Jerry Buske Red Auerbach kasi they're like they really come off here as enemies. And I wish that there were more interactions like that on the court with the players. Kasi marami naman talaga naging enemies ang Lakers eh. Di ba?
I think around that time, di pa magka-friends yung mga players sa other teams, right?
Yeah, no, at the time, no.
No, at that time, no. Parang hindi yata.
Bird and Magic are now friends, but for a very long time, they hated each other.
Yeah,
and by extension, the Celtics and the Lakers hated each other. I wish there were more of that. I wish there was more gameplay that showed that. Kasi feeling ko, ang daming masyadong eksena ng landian eh. Parang, okay na, gets ko na, malandi sila, guys. Ganyan, marami silang drama. But I wish there was more basketball in this basketball show.
Agree. Kasi speaking of gameplay, kasi Showtime is revolutionary eh. they introduced that fast break in an era of low post basketball,
Run
'di
and
ba?
gun.
So
Yeah.
mas tsaka even watching basketball games, mas nagaganahan ka manood during fast breaks, 'di ba? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree with Carl na dapat mas may na-highlight yung gameplay. Even, kahit siguro yung one episode lang nung nagkabati na
Mm,
si Magic tsaka si Kareem, not just na they were passing it as Lakers has a 9-game winning streak. They should have shown
yeah.
more, 'di ba, kung paano sila nanalo.
Oo, biglang talo na lang na ang dami na pala nilang games, no? They've been
Mm.
winning, ganyan. Parang, okay. But you don't see the... Obviously, like, it would be insane to try to pack in a whole season's worth of games
Mm.
across that. But a little bit more on-court action would be a lot of fun. But it might be limited by the actors themselves and what they can actually do. I
Yeah.
keep
Mm.
imagining yung cross-court bullet pass ni Magic na bounce pass.
Same. Yun yung hinahanap ko.
Diba? That's like the greatest. That's one of the greatest passes of all time, and I need to see something like that here.
Yung misdirection pass, no? Yung
Mm-hmm.
nakatingin siya sa kaliwa, papasa niya sa kanan. He
Yeah, and
started
he
it,
did
I
that
think.
regularly.
Mm.
It's a pistol Pete thing.
Uh-huh.
So but he's
Ooh.
so it's a Pete Maravich thing, but because by virtue of the NBA in the early days not getting as much distribution, syempre
Mm.
ang may TV deal and everybody saw was Magic doing it. And so a lot of the fancy passing that we see now is inspired by Magic. And so I wish that there was more here. Kumbaga, 'di ba, we see how Magic is charismatic. The actor is very
Mm.
good at. Parang alam
Yep.
natin kung bakit siya gusto ng mga tao. Alam natin kung bakit siya machicks. But we are not sold on him winning people over with his skill. Because we get
Not
that
yet.
one-on-one
He's
game.
still a
'Di ba?
rookie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but even as a rookie though, like he was a transformational
Yeah.
player as a rookie.
I, w- I was about to
LeBron
say
level
that
yan eh.
LeBron. Oh,
Oh,
once in
change
a
the game yan
generation
eh.
kind of player. Oh.
Not even like, 'di ba, si Jordan took his time eh. The Magic changes the landscape by his presence, more so than like a Bird who's medyo traditional yung skill set.
Kasi si Bird, like all-star, I mean superstar caliber, parang given
Mm.
granted. Pero he did nothing to change the game eh. I mean, yun nga.
Change the position, 'di ba? Change the way
Mm.
that the game flows. Kasi yung Celtics, yun eh, yun na yung defense nila eh.
Mm.
It's just that they had incredibly powerful players performing at those
Each
positions.
position.
Pero
Mm.
yeah, but the Lakers, they innovate this new play style, and the new play style can only exist if you have a player like Magic Johnson.
Kaya nga
Mhm.
ano eh, parang I would agree more na LeBron is not the next Jordan. Is Michael Jordan. LeBron is more of a Magic Johnson.
Agree. Actually, pass first eh. Pass first siya na
Mm.
player. I'm sure that people will hate us for liking LeBron, lalo na ngayon where LeBron is. But sorry guys.
Actually, I'm not a fan, pero I'm objective
He's
naman.
Hasta ako, he brought the Lakers a championship, and I am okay with that now. I've made my peace, guys.
Mm.
For
And speaking of
yeah.
LeBron, have you heard today's news earlier today? There was an
Ano?
interview in the shop. He said
Mm.
na I wanna play with Bronny, and the next
Oh,
superstar that I hopefully want to play with is Steph Curry. Parang what?
I mean, that's the thing though, is maybe to bring it back to winning time. That's something that people probably didn't appreciate when it was all
Mm.
happening. Not that
Mhm.
I think we have a much stronger sense of it with like someone like Steph. Na he's
Mhm.
changing things, diba?
Mm.
Pero I feel like that is the interesting thing here is we're seeing where those first changes happen, and we're
Yeah.
seeing how the modern NBA that we know now
Yeah.
comes into place.
Other than run and gun, the Lakers developed the Laker girls with
Yeah,
Paula
well,
Abdul. I think nobody in the NBA organization hasn't done that. I guess.
wow, now everyone has it. I love how it sort of evolves. I like the backroom drama with Jeannie Buss trying to figure out and
Mhm.
make that happen, because parang ngayon, given lang that basketball stadiums are a place for concerts and for events and stuff.
Mhm.
But here it seemed like it was such a big thing. Diba? So, yeah, so things that we learned that we didn't really
Yep.
think about when we enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Na parang
Like
they don't earn if it's off season, 'di ba?
Oo, yeah. And so parang sayang naman yung space na yan na hindi kumikita. That's something I
Mhm.
never thought about.
I didn't know that bad pala yung sounds na ano, sa forum.
Ayun pa.
Hmm.
Pero kasi maybe it's because of the technology at that time.
Or budget reasons talaga.
Ano bang may PA na ba nun?
Wala pa,
Using
di ba
like
naka yung regular parang speaker lang.
So this episode is 1 to 5, and I know that Carljoe, you've seen up to 8. So
Yeah.
could you spoil something for us, or is it okay? Right, mag-spoil. Okay,
Go.
okay lang sa akin.
I mean, what's
Spoil naman.
what's the spoil though? Like because
Exactly. Kasi parang
it's
there's no
history, bro.
spoiler in basketball.
I mean,
Well, you said that
we all
you said
kind
the
of know.
shoe deal.
We all kind of know at the end of this season, Magic is gonna take a shot, right?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And
in a
McKinney.
di ba, in a championship game, di ba? But
Okay,
and
okay.
we all know naman that at some point Patrick Riley's gonna go from this like terribly insecure kind of beta
Yeah,
male
yun
to
yung
like a freaking badass.
Ang ganda pala
yun yung
ng
gusto ko
wife.
makitang development ni Pat Riley. Seeing him in the Heat, parang he has that godfather stance. Pero watching this series, parang ang dorky niya, ang nerdy niya, parang
Yeah,
what?
right? He's
How
like
how do you transform from this to that?
tapos eto Rai, like ako as a young kid, ano talaga Chick Hearn. Like every single basketball game that I heard was called by Chick Hearn. Tapos binubully
Mhm.
niya si Pat Riley dito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Fist up.
Hindi ko nga alam na
Pinatahimik siya.
nag-announcer siya.
Tinatawag pa siyang Patricia, 'di ba? Parang wow.
Oh.
Binubully mo si Pat Riley, but again, that's what's so interesting about this show is it some of it might not necessarily be true or might not have happened the way that they're showing it, but it's giving us a different view of these characters that at least to me are mythical, 'di ba? Parang the myth of Kareem and the myth
Icons
of
of today, di ba?
Magic. Oo,
Yeah.
and then it's like ito yung bata pa sila, 'di ba? Parang si Magic as like a teenager, sobrang kupal lang. 'Di ba? Parang he's so awful to women. Like that's
Mhm.
he's awful to his future wife. He's awful
To
to
his
the other
partners.
women around him. Di
Yeah.
ba? Buti nga hindi niya pinopormahan si Jeannie Boss eh.
I was
Don't, bro.
Actually there
episode
was.
3 ata yun or
Parang,
2, di ba?
yeah.
Yung magkasama
Well,
sila and you're like, oh, I hope nothing happens here because that might be bad.
Parang nag-back off lang siya nung nalaman niya, oh, Dr. Bus is my father. Parang, okay.
kala ka nga Magic na girlfriend ka niya.
Akala niya girlfriend. So he had the good sense to not try to put the moves on his boss's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Good job, Magic. I actually want a little bit more of the other guys. Si Michael Cooper, you only get a little bit
I was
of
about
Oh,
to...
yeah.
Diba?
Parang kulang yung screen time niya. The way they talk to him, di ba?
Oo. And si Wilkes and I'm looking forward to all of this getting built out. I want to see the winning time season na nandito na si James Worthy at si AC Green, yung classic like
Oh
80s
my
lineup.
God.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, where's Kurt Rambis, bro? Diba?
Wait,
Si Kurt Rambis yung
Boss si Kurt
Kurt
Rambis
Rambis.
yung
Yung
white guy.
naipagsapakan with the glasses, naipagsapakan with the Celtics.
Yeah.
Oh.
Long back.
Oo. Yun ang mga gusto kong makita, pare. Like, I want this show to keep going. Is where I am. Like, I wish that I've seen 8 episodes. I wish they gave me 10. I wish they'd give me both seasons na. I'm that person.
Right.
And I'm thinking na parang winning time, di ba? Parang ngayon, Lakers Dynasty. Parang I was thinking na they could do also other teams later on in the show. Parang kunwari, winning time Bulls naman or winning time Golden State, di ba? It would work eh. Their formula works.
I agree that
Bulls Dynasty.
I agree that it would be interesting. Pero I think yung crucial dito is nakatali yung 80s culture. Parang yung cultural moment of the wanton use of cocaine and kind of the wild. Kasi it's imagine this, the Wolf of Wall Street, but in the NBA. Because it's the 80s. It's much wilder. Diba, parang Wild West siya in terms of how they're building a new culture around basketball sports culture. And so for me, the challenge then would be, what would you tie that to? Like, I agree with you. I'd love to see like a Golden State, ganon. Pero yung parang kung ako, I imagine itatalo ko yung Golden State sa like wokeness of the period.
Yun,
And
di ba?
how,
Yun,
yeah,
that's an idea.
di ba? Kasi like Steph Curry's wife is very socially progressive, runs like NGOs.
Mhm.
Yung ganon, di ba? Tapos si Steph Curry and sort of promoting women's basketball. Like those are the interesting kind of
Parang
potential
something down
things.
the line. Mm.
More Lakers muna.
Oo. Siyempre, kailangan pa nila i-discuss yung Kobe Shaq dynasty rin.
Oo.
Yung arguments nila kung bakit na-trade si Shaq, di ba?
Oo, or magpe-prequel to tapos it's the Celtics dynasty.
Oh, pwede rin.
Di ba?
Maganda yung material na it could go anywhere. Parang we need more basketball content, kumbaga, aside from the actual NBA.
Oh, kasi with like how many people watch The Last Dance, di ba? Norby messaged me and told me na they're coming out with even more Lakers content, right? Documentaries and stuff.
So the TMZ, kung alam nyo, they saw Magic Johnson, and the reporter was asking Magic Johnson, "Hey, what do you guys think of the winning time?" And he said, "Oh, I don't like it. Kasi ilalabas din ako sa Apple TV na show, na docu-series. Pati rin si Genie sa Showtime."
Competing ones. So I don't know if you guys have read it, but the Bird and Magic book is really good.
Oh.
Yung nag-interview sila with one another?
Yeah, it's like
ito ba yung lumang book?
I'll look it up now, but that, and then there's a great podcast about the Olympics team. Yung 1990s Olympic team. They're all, if I'm not mistaken, they're all by Jack McCollum. Yeah.
Okay. So
the Dream Team podcast by Jack McCollum is very good, and he also did like the Magic book.
Well, anyway, guys, it's time. We can start finishing this up. Right. Could you do you have anything to promote?
Wala naman. Just the usual. Yun. Always check out FlipGeeks for any pop culture geek content. And also, if you like basketball and the NBA, please do give us a listen at Did Not Play.
Oh, by the way, Ryan has been posting a lot of YouTube videos on our FlipGeeks FGTV channel.
I'm behind toys, the toy content.
How about you, Carljoe?
All right, so I did the wiki, and what's great is I am wrong, but I am justifiably, like, I have a good excuse. So the Magic and Bird book was written by Jackie McMullen, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson. The Dream Team book was written by Jack McCallum.
Okay lang. Magkalapit.
Okay na, di ba? Okay na. Forgive me na. Ganyan. But the Dream Team book and the Dream Team pod and all of this like awesome content, I agree with Rai. Thanks guys for having this conversation and inviting me to join you to talk about this, because obviously we could keep going. But more basketball content that is narrative, and it's not just watching the games. I'd love that. I agree with you 100%. And I guess if we want that to happen, then we need to watch shows like Winning Time.
That's right. Or mga sports related shows.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about Carljoe? Anything to plug?
No plugs. Just just our other pods that we have been working on together. We've got that Moon Knight pod, and we'll have some more in the coming weeks. Sige, I'll plug my FlipGeeks thing. I got to interview Brandon Graham a while back, and so that's still on the site. And Brandon Graham is a really smart creator, and it was a very deep, insightful interview.
Right. Yeah. Right. Medyo deep talaga. Interview
deep, bro. Is deep, bro.
Sige. Check ko yan.
Well, sa akin, I've interviewed Nick Pitara, and Nick Pitara is releasing parang a campaign, a crowdfunding campaign about his new book called Axe Wielder John, and and hopefully maging successful siya. But anyway, we gotta go, and I hope you guys and hopefully the next episode would be the latter part of the Winning Time season.
Yeah, we should do this again.
Season ender.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.